I'm here with Tanya Janca, who is a cloud security advocate for Microsoft and also an AppSec nerd, which I think is very cool. So your daily job is what?
I have a very strange job. Basically, I create a lot of content about Azure from a security perspective. I get feedback from the community and then help the teams, the product teams, change the product so it's more of what the industry actually needs and wants.
Yep.
And basically do things like this, which is super fun.
So do you get to break things considering you're a security part of this?
I do. It's so fun. And it's really cool because I get to talk to the teams that actually created the things.
Yep.
So then I can work with them and fix it. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's very cool. So this is an Azure show, obviously. And I thought I'd try and pick your brain maybe in something Azure security related that you find really cool.
So a topic that's come up quite a bit recently is multi-cloud security strategy. So a lot of people want to use more than one cloud, which is super cool.
Yep.
And they're like, Tanya, how do I secure that? So some brief ideas that I want to give you are, Security Center, which I think Oren talked to you about.
You did, yep.
So Security Center is this big fancy dashboard with a ton of security tools in it. Mm-hmm. But it actually takes input from any security tool you want.
Oh.
And then you can add Azure Security Center agents to all of the stuff in your other cloud. And it will feed in to Azure Security Center so you can see everything. And if you have like a SIM over there and then a SIM for us, or our SIM and other tools could see all of your stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can feed it all up into one dashboard where you see everything and you actually control everything.
So do you get the same sort of notifications of this is not as secure as it could be, or this bit is missing here, or that sort of stuff as well?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Another thing you can do is, let's say you have different security tools in your other cloud.
Yeah.
Those security tools can feed up into Azure and you can look at it. And you can also call Azure Security Graph API.
Yep.
So it's not just the Graph API, it's the Graph Security API. So there's two. Actually, there's more than two, but obviously the one that matters is the security one.
And that's the safe one? No, wait.
It's the one with all the cool security information. So you can feed, so you can call the API and put data in it, or you can call the API and take data out of it. So if you're in another cloud provider and they have a dashboard and you prefer to use that one, or like if you've bought a really big fancy SIM, that watches everything, you can take all the information from Graph Security API and then just feed it into your SIM, which is super, super cool. Same with so all the threat protection, all of that can go into your other tool, or you can bring it all into ours, which is obviously like, you don't want to look at 50 dashboards. No one wants that. No one wants that. So it's really nice to have one place where you can look at everything. So that would be the first thing I would do if you're doing multi-cloud security strategy.
That's really cool. I did not know you could do that. That is very, very cool. Now, you kept mentioning SIM. Do you want to just explain what that is real quick?
Yeah. Okay. So a SIM is a security incident and event management tool. Mm-hmm. And basically it sucks up all of the logs from everywhere, and then it says, that looks like a bad idea, that's scary, could you please look over here? And what often happens is you end up hiring a team of like 30 extremely patient human beings who watch this and try to look at all the data. It's usually network data, but you can also get an application SIM to watch all of the events to do with your applications. And basically, you want to strategize at what you look at or what you don't look at, and you want to start like kind of honing your alerts, because you can get alert fatigue. Like I remember we got a SIM where I used to work, and it was just like, every morning it's just like, this is going to take me 3 weeks, right? So we had to like work about and figure out what were the real things to look at, what are not the real things. And Azure Security Center, it's more, you must look at this right now.
Yes,
it's a lot more precise than a SIM, and I don't mean SIMs are not necessary. That's not what I mean. It's just it's different things that you're looking at in Security Center. It's very Azure specific and all the Azure security tools. And then also based on your policy. Can I talk about policies for like 1 second? I know that policies seem boring, but I swear it's not going to be.
I totally agree. Policies are so important in any kind of cloud infrastructure. So please, go.
Okay, so when I think of a policy, I think of like a web page with a bunch of text on it that is really hard to read, that I wonder, like, how does this apply to my job? But in Azure, that's not what we mean. No. What we mean is there's a list of things, rules that you can make. For instance, I want all of my app services to force HTTPS only. or I want all of my disks to be encrypted.
Yep.
And you make these rules and you check all of whatever and you save that as your policy. And then Azure is like, oh, look there, not following the policy. Look there. And it makes a prioritized list of scariest to least scary so that you can prioritize your time.
Yep.
And then it actually gives you points so you can kind of gamify it. So you get a secure score.
Do you get free socks with that?
I think that, so like, some people are like gamification that shouldn't be necessary at work. But the secure score is really helpful because previously in previous jobs, my boss would never know if I was doing a good job or not.
Yeah.
Right? So they would hear from us when there was a security incident.
That's a good point, yeah.
So they would know when we were doing a bad job.
Because things break.
Right?
Yeah.
But so a secure score is kind of awesome because I can say, look, our score went up by like 100 points this month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But you can't do that if like security is invisible. So
No.
it's really awesome to say like, we have like 98% compliance with our policy. Also, if you have 98% compliance, please show me how you did that.
Yes.
But I just think like the policies, the fact that so I used to have to work with people that did compliance, nice people, patient human beings.
We need more of those.
But they would come and they would ask me if I was compliant. And I have to say, as a software developer, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. And I just like write Post-it notes like, do that later. But with Azure, you actually know the truth.
Yes.
Like people actually are forcing HTTPS, or they do have encrypted disks, or they don't, right? And you know it up to the date at the moment. Like doing a manual audit takes forever. And it's just like, I hope they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
And so this is like actual facts, which is just from a security person, like you automate it, it's up to date, and it's actually accurate. It's such a beautiful thing.
Azure policy is your friend, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, I mean, like unless you're behaving very poorly and you're doing bad security things, because I'm going to come up to your desk and be like, hey, let's have a chat.